attending this 10th lecture, online public lecture of the Afghanistan Research Initiative, which is part of the Graduate School of Development, the University of Central Asia. And the University of Central Asia is a regional university with campuses in the three countries of Central Asia and programs in Afghanistan. My name is Bogdan Kravchenko, and I am managing the Afghanistan Research Initiative. And I'm very pleased to introduce Mujib Ahmadzai, who is a lecturer in the Department of Natural Resources, Faculty of the Environment at Kabul University, where he focuses on capacity building and research related to environmental sustainability and this sort of thing. He holds a master's in land resource management, and he's completing a PhD in the Faculty of Forestry and Environment at a very good Malaysian university called University Putra, Malaysia. He has published quite a lot of articles. The one we put a link to is Societal and Economic Impact of Reforestation Strategies and Policies in Southeast Asia, a broad one, but it also has subsections. As per our practice, we also have a discussant who is Dr. Maxim Kulikov, who is a research fellow at our university's Mountain Societies Research Institute, which does research in mountains, obviously, and the environment. And Maxim has a PhD in Geography and Natural Sciences from the Institute of Geography at Hamburg University. And he has done a fair amount of work on these kinds of issues in general, and specifically on forests. He's done quite a lot of work on forests over here, so he will be discussing. So, Mujib, I thank you very much for joining us. It's very nice to have somebody delivering a lecture who is from Kabul University, and we hope to see much more of this kind of effort in the future. Mujib, up to you. You can upload your slides and all of that. So we will, after the lecture, obviously the discussant, and then we will have time for questions and comments. As per usual, raise your hand if you wish to speak, send the question to the Q&A section, and I'll read them out. So thanks everyone for participating. Mujib, up to you now.
Yeah, I can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, just put the whole screen.
Okay, is the whole screen? Okay. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to start with most welcome to everyone in this great public lecture from the side of Afghanistan Research Initiative, and also Central Asian University. Good afternoon and good evening to some of those who join with us. Maybe there will be evening and good morning from some of the people who are joining us the morning. It's a truly honor for me to be here today in presenting a topic that is both urgent and close to my heart, as a deforestation and biodiversity loss in Afghanistan. I will discuss both the challenges and opportunity for a sustainable restoration of forest, and also focus on conservation of biodiversity in Afghanistan and also in some regional countries. I deeply appreciate the opportunity to share my research and review insight in such distant audience. Before I begin, I want to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude to the Afghanistan Research Institute and the University of Central Asia for making this platform available to a scholar like me and hundreds more of Afghans. Your effort in fostering research and education for Afghans, particularly through postgraduate studies, have transferred countless lives, including including mine. I am proud to say that I am one of the beneficiaries of your generous support, which played a crucial role in completion of my PhD, which the topic was forest management and ecosystem sciences from University of Puerto Malaysia. I really appreciate your effort. Special thanks to Dr. Bohadan and the team that they closely work with me, and I have published many publications with a fully financial support from ARI side. Thank you very much. Thank you again for your invaluable contribution to the higher education and research platform in Afghanistan and also the young generation of this country. Thank you very much. I want to start my lecture with a topic of deforestation and biodiversity loss in Afghanistan. We will discuss the two main parts of this lecture, challenges and also opportunity. We have a great opportunity in Afghanistan for sustainable restoration.
Can you expand your screen to full?
I think it's full right now. Can you see?
Right? Yeah, this is better.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. We will have an introduction to Afghanistan environmental landscape, causes of deforestation in Afghanistan, and then we will go to impact of deforestation on ecosystem and society. We'll focus more on biodiversity loss and its consequences here in Afghanistan. Then we will go to challenges in forest and biodiversity restoration. We'll have a break on policy and legal framework for conservation. And then we will go to sustainable restoration strategies, role of international organization and local organization in private sector. And then we will have a case study from some countries. I will just focus maybe for 5 to 10 minutes in this part. And in the last minutes, we will have a recommendation for future sustainable restoration and biodiversity conservation in Afghanistan and a conclusion. First of all, I want to look on a global impact of deforestation. As you see in the slide, deforestation is a deliberate cleaning of forests to make room for agriculture, mining, and other human activities. In Afghanistan, most of these activities are just coming under agriculture and human well-being. Here we don't have any more mining sectors to clean the forest and bring a deforestation in the area. I bring an example from Malaysia. Palm oil plantation in Malaysia, they are cleaning the forest and they are bringing palm oil and making industry for their people in for the continent. Forest loss globally, 420 million hectares lost between 1990 and 2020. This was taken from a report of IPCC 2020. I will focus here on Afghanistan, how much we lost in Afghanistan. The land was deforested between 1990 and 2020. Afghanistan experienced significant deforestation, losing approximately 422,000 hectares, which was deforestation, which is equal to a 33.8% of reduction in forest cover between around 30 years. This is a very big loss in Afghanistan. Unfortunately, this all because of zero level of poverty in Afghanistan. Most of the people are living under the poverty line. It's like 65%. Those losses was because of preliminary due to illegal logging, mainly in Kunar provinces, Nuristan province, and also in Paktia provinces. Overgrazing also another factor that why we lost this big amount of this big area deforested in Afghanistan. And land conservation, we don't have a very good land conservation systems and a law to be protected the land. For the annual loss, when we are coming to the annual loss, globally 10 million hectares lost annually between 2010 and 2020. Within the 10 years, 10 million hectares annually, there was a forest loss. The annual deforestation rate in Afghanistan during this period averaged to 14,733 hectares per year. This is a very big loss in Afghanistan. As the total area of Afghanistan, we have 3% of the total area. It was like before 1960, the total area of Afghanistan, 3% was natural forest. The other was like agricultural land, mountain, and rangeland. This extensive deforestation has led to increased soil erosion. We are facing difficulties in natural disaster like soil erosion, loss of biodiversity, and hinted vulnerability to natural disaster such as flood. If you heard last year in 2024, a big flash flood came in two provinces. One was Baghlan province, and other was Nangarhar province. Most of the people lost their lives, and also thousands of hectares agricultural land was destroyed. This is a big problem in Afghanistan. If we come to the tropical regions, 95% of deforestation occurs in tropics. Afghanistan is not coming most in this part. I'm coming to Afghanistan. Before going to Afghanistan, I will give a brief introduction. Afghanistan forest and biodiversity are under severe threat due to deforestation, climate change, and human activities. But here, I will mention that human activity is the main cause of deforestation in Afghanistan. Afghanistan forest and biodiversity are vital to the country's and also ecological balance, providing habitat for diverse wildlife and also resources for local community. As you know, we don't have any resources to use for the local community peoples. The country has four main type of forest: coniferous forest. It's in eastern provinces like Kunar, Nuristan, and Paktia. Deciduous forest in central and northern region of Afghanistan. Reference forest along river banks and dry woodlands in arid zone of Afghanistan. It's mainly in western Afghanistan. We have this kind of forest. However, only about 2.2 based on FAO report, and also 2.6% of the forest in Afghanistan are remains from the 3%. There is a two different reports. One is from the Ministry of Agriculture, Irrigation, and Livestock. They mentioned that there is 2.6% remain, but the FAO and WFP report shows that there is 2.2% of the land is remain of the forest. Also in biodiversity section, Afghanistan is equally rich, over 5,000 plant species, and also a variety of wildlife. Better that including snow leopards and also ibex, Morocco polo sheep, and also Asiatic black bear, also including in Afghanistan biodiversity. This is a rich country based of that. These biodiversity are in Hindu Kush, Wakhan corridor, and also in Pamir mountains. These are the places that the key biodiversity hotspot. Recently in 2014, Afghanistan announced Wakhan corridor as a protected area for the biodiversity enrichment area. We have this kind of biodiversity. It's both flora and fauna in Afghanistan. We have many medicinal plants as well. The enforced forest and ecological balance, climate regulation, and also socio-economic sustainability. Currently, most of the people in some provinces like Khost province, Paktia province, Paktika province, Kunar, and Nuristan, they are focusing on agroforestry activities, also conserving the forest in their getting the benefits from a multi-dimensional area like agroforestry and mechanization agriculture. Objective of the presentation will be to explore challenges and solution for restoring Afghanistan forest and biodiversity. I will not focus on overview of the presentation. We will have a discussion in later slides. Overview of Afghanistan forest and biodiversity. As you see in the picture, there is two different pictures. They are from Paktia province and host provinces. Less than 2% of Afghanistan land is forest, mainly in eastern and northern region of Afghanistan. This is a report from the FAO. If you see the report from the Ministry of Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, they are claiming that still we have 2.6% of the Afghanistan geography is covered by natural forest, but it was not fortunate. That was not right. The number. There is two pictures. You can see forest logging illegally in most provinces of Afghanistan. That's why the economic situation in Afghanistan is not good. Why people are cutting and bringing illegal logging in forest of Afghanistan. Biodiversity hotspots includes unique flora and fauna in the region of such as the Pamir Mountains in Hindu Kush. We have a very big biodiversity hotspot in these two areas. Key species, snow leopards, Marco Polo sheep, Asiatic black bear, and various endemic plants. This also a report from World Wildlife Fund. The reports also established in 2023. A role of these ecosystems in supporting livelihoods and maintaining ecological balance. Those areas where we don't have forest or rangeland cover, we are facing much more difficulties, such as natural hazards, flash flood, earthquake, landslides, and also soil erosion in most of the areas in Afghanistan. This is a big problem that our people are facing with this. If we come to this report, which belongs to the SAARC region, Afghanistan, and also Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, these countries, you will see the line of Afghanistan. I don't know why you can see that. Afghanistan is the top country that are losing forest cover, and also the biodiversity is in a very big challenges in such condition from the side of climate change issues, human activities. Mostly this is a big problem in Afghanistan for the forest and also for the biodiversities. In fact, the biodiversity, in this picture, we are also seeing Pakistan, Nepal, India, China, and Afghanistan. If we see Afghanistan, agriculture transfer, a big problem for the natural forest is changing the land and transferring it to agriculture land. And a small amount of the land is also changing for commercial planting. This is another problem in Afghanistan for the deforestation. And also forest degradation. If you see, there's a big issue of forest degradation. The percentage is coming from 20% to around 90%. Means 60% of deforestation is because of forest degradation. That's also directly connecting with the human activities in this area. Natural hazard is a very less amount that we can see in a line of Afghanistan. If you see here, natural hazards are not any impact of the deforestation in Afghanistan. That's why we are telling human activities, agriculture, transfer, and commercial are the main impact of deforestation in Afghanistan. Recently in 2014 and also in 2017, there was a fire, wildlife fire in Afghanistan. Also, it's coming like 1%. We lost around 270 hectares of land in Nuristan provinces in 2015, and also in 2022, around 200 hectares of natural forest was because of fire in host provinces. These are the main causes of deforestation in Afghanistan. Causes of deforestation in Afghanistan: illegal logging and timber trade. Timber trade is mainly in Nuristan and Kunar provinces, but any other activities are in Paktika and host provinces. Unsustainable wood harvesting for domestic and export use. We don't have a sustainable and expert usage of harvesting of forest. There is no any special company to make logging of forest and timber trade between Afghanistan and foreign countries. This is one of the causes of deforestation in Afghanistan. Agricultural expansion is another problem, as most of the area in host province and also in Paktika province, they are converging agriculture, natural forest to agriculture area. This is a big problem for our natural resources, such as forest. Fuel wood dependence, 60 to 70% of the Afghan peoples rely on agriculture and livestock. Therefore, 80% of the rural household rely on wood for heating and cooking. From where we are getting this big amount of wood, it's really clear for everyone that we are cutting our natural forest and also the shrubs which coming under the rangeland in Afghanistan. That's why from this 45% of the rangeland of Afghanistan, currently we have just 32%. We lost 13% of the rangeland as well, not just the forest and natural resources. Conflict and governance issue. This is another big problem in Afghanistan for the deforestation, which is causing deforestation in Afghanistan. Decades of war, have weakened environmental policies and enforcement of law in the country. That's why we can't stop illegal logging and diamond trade in Afghanistan. This is a big challenge to the government and also to the local people as well. The role of poverty in weak infrastructure and ice-breaking deforestation. This is another case of deforestation in Afghanistan. That's why we are facing day by day decreasing the forest area, natural forest area in Afghanistan. But fortunately, beside this, we have some NGOs that they are closely working with the local people and providing them with the alternative of fuel wood dependence the communities. Impact of deforestation on ecosystem in society. It's clear to all that the forests have a positive impact on society and also on ecosystem. If we see water ecosystem or river ecosystem, desert ecosystem, all of these are dependent on the forest and greenery. But here we have some problems. The first one, if we say loss of biodiversity, habitat destruction leading to declining species population in Afghanistan. This is a big challenge. That's why we are bringing some area under protected area. Previously, up to 2021, just 5 area in Afghanistan was announced protected, but currently we increase that number to 8 area are protected, and we want to conserve the biodiversity, both flora and fauna in Afghanistan. Climate change acceleration is another impact of deforestation on ecosystem in society. This is another big challenge for Afghanistan. Soil degradation and desertification, loss of vegetation lead to soil erosion and reduced agricultural productivity. This is the main cause also in Afghanistan that many people are facing with this. Human impact such as displacement and loss of livelihood due to environmental degradation. If I bring an example that recently we conducted research on climate change and migration in the eastern part of Afghanistan, around 35% of the people was displaced, internal displaced because of environmental degradation in the problem. That's why they lost their agriculture activities and also what they was expecting from their agriculture, they did not get that. That's why internal displacement came in the area. And currently we have problems of managing that people in another provinces of Afghanistan. Another impact of deforestation on an ecosystem in society is water shortage. Deforestation disrupts hydrological cycles, reducing water availability. If I bring an example from the Kabul city, it will be very shocking to everyone. According to the report of Ministry of Water and Energy and also JICA, in 2030, Kabul city will face a very big challenge of water shortage. That maybe this, as a capital city, we will most of the people will go back to another provinces because of losing and shortage of groundwater, which we are using for drinking. This is another big challenge and problem and impact of deforestation on ecosystem and society. Biodiversity loss and consequences. Declining fauna and flora, many species face extinction due to habitat destruction. You know, when we are cutting and bringing illegal logging and cutting the trees in forest, mainly in Paktia, Khost, Paktika, Nuristan, in Kunar provinces, it has a direct impact on losing our species, especially the wildlife in these provinces. Disruption of ecosystem services, loss of pollinator, affected crop production. This is another report from Kandahar Research Institute, its Agriculture Institute. Human wildlife conflict, shrinking habitats, force wildlife into human settlements. This is another challenge and problem. The interconnected nature of biodiversity and food security in Afghanistan. This is another big challenge. You know, most of the people, as I mentioned in my first slide, that 65 to 70% of the people rely on agriculture and livelihood, livestock, from where they're getting their income. Most of the people are getting their income from natural resources, from agriculture, and also from livestock. This is another big challenge that we are facing currently in Afghanistan. Challenges in forest and biodiversity restoration. Lack of governmental capacity, weak institutional framework, and lack of funding. This is a big challenge for Afghanistan. Illegal logging networks, difficulty in controlling cross-border timber smuggling. This is another problem. Mostly we are facing for the second one in Kunar and Nuristan provinces. Climate change, pressure, increased temperature, and erratic rainfall pattern. Previously, we have very good rainfall in the eastern zone of Afghanistan, but currently we don't have such raining seasons. Community engagement issues. Still, we are not in the stage to engage the community in forest and biodiversity conservation. We have some issues like limited public awareness and participation of the people. They are not joining and they are not happy to join such a gathering and programs. The challenges of balancing economic development with environmental protection. As you know, we don't have enough budget for the NEPA, National Environmental Authority in Afghanistan. This is another big challenge in Afghanistan. That's why we can't stop illegal logging and biodiversity losing, hunting of our wildlife, and also the birds which are here in Afghanistan. If we come to the side of sustainable restoration in the challenges, especially for Afghanistan, I have divided that into 4 categories. Resource availability and management, availability of seeds and seedlings. This one problem that still agriculture is not a mechanization agriculture. That's a big problem. Selection of the right species. Still, there is no any research body or institute or administration to select right species to the right place to be planted. Lack of experience and technical expertise in native seedings and management. This is another challenge. If we come to the logistical infrastructure challenges, we'll see long transportation distance. This is a big problem and challenge. A low infrastructure capacity, another one. Limited financing for handling, processing, and storage. This is another challenge for agriculture and also for the income that we are generating from natural forest and natural areas. Environmental and ecological challenges. If we come to this side, adaptation to edaphic and hydrological and climatic condition. Still, when we are planting some species, we are bringing that from the provinces that the condition and climate condition is very different with those provinces that we want to plant such species. This is another problem. Environmental degradation, this is all over the country, a big challenge in Afghanistan for making a sustainable restoration. Environmental degradation is a very big challenge. Climate change is also a big challenge for environmental sustainable restoration in Afghanistan. Land use change, this is another problem and issue in Afghanistan that we are facing with that. Still, we don't have enough law and policies for land use changes. By which law, in which policy, we want to change the natural forest to an agriculture area or a domestic area or another area. Pollutant behavior under changing climate conditions, another environmental and ecological challenges. Strategic and planning challenges. As we see, we have these kind of challenges in Afghanistan. Identifying priority areas, this is another challenge. Balancing short-term, long-term, and medium-term restoration goals for a single land area. This is another challenge for the stakeholder organization who are working, mainly NEPA, National Environmental Authority, and Ministry of Agriculture, Irrigation, and Livestock, with their line ministries and stakeholder organization. If it's belong to UN agencies, national NGOs, INGOs, and also the private sector. This is another problem. Absence of well-defined indicators to measure land degradation severity. Still, we don't have any indicators to identify how much the severity of sustainable restoration in Afghanistan, and how much the severity of flash flood in Afghanistan, how much the losing of biodiversity in this country. These are the main 4 challenges. If there is a challenges, we also have opportunities to cover back that restoration. Innovation, if we can, to interdisciplinary science package integrating restoration, pollination, energy, and socio-economic expertise in one, we will solve the problem which we have in the area or in Afghanistan. Linking restoration initiative with evolving knowledge of environment and land use change. If we come to the resource infrastructure opportunity, scaling up resource like seed banks, strengthening supply chain. Unfortunately, still we don't have these, but these opportunities are still in the way to put it and solve the problems or issue we have. Collaboration in governments, multi-sector and actors alignment. If we align international organization with our national sectors like ministries and those administration who are working for the environment and also for the natural resource management. Public-private partnership, still, unfortunately, we don't have such a public-private partnership in Afghanistan. Institutional involvement, we must involve the institutional who are working for restoration and sustainable restoration in these kind of activities. Effective governance is the most important part of collaboration and governance. Strategic regional opportunity, identification of focal regional, example, dryland. We can make a regional plan with those countries, those who are facing with drylands, and also bringing with the financial capacities for research and restoration. In this area, we really appreciate the efforts of ARI in University of Central Asia that even they are providing a small amount of grants for the scholars that they are doing their research for Afghanistan biodiversity and natural resources. It's very really appreciated. And another one is biodiversity conservation. How can we conserve the biodiversity? Just the government can't control and conserve the biodiversity. We must bring a newly community-based conservation of biodiversity, community-based forest management association, and also agriculture association, and also environmental protection association. We must bring people together to use these opportunities and save and bring sustainable restoration in the country. Restoration efforts. This is a success story from the TLO, the Legion Office. One of the project was the FLR project, which was implemented and hosted in Paktika province. You can see these two pictures. How can they conserve the area? The first picture you can see is cleared from the natural forest, and the second picture you can see again this project of the TLO bring the area covered by trees. What they did, they make a community-based reforestation association, local initiative, demonstrate the power of collective action. This is a very good example. They also provide some sustainable agriculture to the people, that they must not cut the natural forest, and they must have a sustainable agriculture in their area, promoting practices to reduce resource on forest. Another was a protected area. It's currently working for to bring Zaji Aryub as a protected area. This is another effort of the Legion Office. Another very good activity in practices is like agroforestry activities. They are encouraging people, mostly the local peoples in host province and also in Paktia and Paktika province, those who are relying on forest resources. They are providing training and capacity building workshops to the people to use an agroforestry practices. In the same times, they can get benefits also from the forest, crops, and livestock. This is a very good practice in host provinces. You can see the difference of first and second picture. This is a success story from the FLR project of the Legion Office. Sustainable restoration strategy. The first one, if you want to say, is community-based forest management strategy, engaging local community in reforestation efforts. This also from the FAO 2023. Agroforestry practices, combining agriculture and forestry to enhance biodiversity. As my research was also, my PhD research was also on this issue, agroforestry practices, specifically in host provinces. As I shared my thesis with you, and also the finding of my research with Dr. Bohdan. Reforestation programs, here we need for reforestation programs, not just from the government side. Maybe we can make it large scale tree planting and afforestation projects in Afghanistan. Here, I can also mention that the Legion Office this year has launched a program of the Green Legacy program within 23 provinces of Afghanistan. The Legion Office will plant around 145,000 of saplings in 23 provinces. It's including pre-root sapling and also non-pre-root saplings. This is a very good reforestation program all over the country. For the next year, inshallah, this will cover the whole 34 provinces. Alternative energy resources, we must try our best to find alternative energy resources or fuel wood for the local people. Maybe we can promote solar energy and biogas to reduce wood fuel dependence communities, mostly in host province, Paktika, Kunar, Nuristan, Nangarhar, Rahman, in other provinces in Afghanistan. How can we provide these kind of energies like solar energy? This not just by the government side, but international organization in UN organization can support the government to stop forest cutting and illegal logging the forest by a direct support of the international organization. We can stop and reduce such kind of activities. Training in an awareness campaign to promote sustainability of sustainable restoration in Afghanistan. This is another kind of activities that we can and stop forest cutting and losing the biodiversity. I bring 10 golden rules here for a sustainable restoration. Protect existing forest first. This is a very good actionable plan for our government and also for the local people to stop and protect the existing forests that we have. Work together, involve all stakeholders. One of the main challenge here in Afghanistan, still the people are looking and they are not involving all the sectors. If we involve international organization with Ministry of Agriculture, we are leaving the private sector. We are not involving them in forest restoration and also in biodiversity conservation.
Mujib, you have to wind down.
Okay. These are the 10 roles that we can protect our forest and biodiversity. What's the role of international and local organization? An international organization, UNEP and FAO, technical and financial support for reforestation project. This is a very good and also World Wildlife Fund and International Union of Conservation of Nature conservation program for endangered species. Previously, they were working with the NEPA, National Authority of Environmental Protection Agency, but currently, unfortunately, they stopped their project in Afghanistan. This is a big problem that we will lose our environment. And international organization also coming that they are not recognizing the current government in Afghanistan. Local NGOs, as a grassroots efforts for forest preservation and community awareness, NGOs are playing a crucial role in forest preservation and also in biodiversity conservation. I also bring another example from the Legion Office. I have discussed on this previously. The need for...
Mujib, you really stop soon. I give you a minute and a half.
I will have just 2 to 3 slides. There's no much more slides. Yeah,
it's long. You're 45 minutes.
Okay. Causes case studies from a successful restoration project. One of the project in Pakistan, billion trees, Tunzami. This is a very good lesson for Afghanistan that we can also implement this one in Afghanistan. India's afforestation program, how community involvement lead to success. This is another Afghanistan small scale initiative. This another successful restoration project, analyzing what work and what can be replicated in Afghanistan. We will, inshallah, implement such kind of project in Afghanistan by full support of international organization. Policy in legal framework conservation, National Environmental Protection Agency, NEPA, existing policy but weak enforcement. We have policy, but there is no enforcement in the country. International agreements, since 2021, there was agreements with the government that they was implementing their project and also commitment.
Mujib, we can read the slides, so please wind up.
Okay. And also for these are recommendation. I have just one more slide. Recommendation for sustainable future, strengthening law enforcement. This is one recommendation. Enhancing community participation, bringing the community to participate in preserving and conserving the forest and biodiversity, increasing afforestation effort, investing in alternative energies, international collaboration, and a future step for long-term environmental sustainability.
Okay, that's it. No, yeah, I think we get the point by now.
Okay, and this is the conclusion, and we have
we can see it. We can see your references.
Okay.
There's the.
These are all. Thank you very much, Dr. Bohdan. These are all not all the references. I have used more than 35 references. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
We know that you have references.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I had to kind of push this because we're going to be running out of time.
Yeah.
We want Maxime. Can you please make some comments on this?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mujib. It was really an interesting and insightful presentation. Well, yeah, many problems, they sort of coincide with those in Kyrgyzstan and maybe elsewhere as well in the forest, like overuse of the forest by local communities and timber collection, illegal logging, and overgrazing as well. But listening to a presentation, I had one question. I mean, what are the main tree species in the forest? What type of forests do you have mainly? Because from what I understood from you, the greatest biodiversity is in the north and northeast provinces of Afghanistan. That means in the mountain areas. So, I mean, what's your idea about the mountain areas? I mean, do they provide like a greater, more conditions for richer biodiversity, or what's your idea about why north and northeast of Afghanistan have greater deal of biodiversity? Those are two questions, I guess.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kulikov, for your question. Yes.
You'll answer at the end. I have a couple of comments, and then you can, and maybe somebody else. So on this reforestation business, one of the things that I rarely see discussed is any kind of economic incentives for the population to do that. It tends to be, this is a good thing to do, you need community involvement. And I don't see why you can't use economic mechanisms, such as tax relief, if you plant forests and this sort of thing. And the other thing, when you talk about forests, I mean, there's presumably a range of options that you can do. Trees that grow very, very quickly, trees that have no particular commercial value but do provide coverage, and this sort of thing. Now, also in Afghanistan, where you have a government that is pretty strict about things, why can't they be strict about planting trees? I don't understand why we enforce traffic rules, but we say, and you can very well say that, listen, if you're going to be doing any farming, or this local government, for you to continue, you have to have X percentage of your territory on forests. So a little bit of what government action could be other than sympathy in terms of using tax coercion, if you want, pushing. There's no reason for I don't understand why the government can't come in and just plant trees.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bohdan, and thank you very much, Dr. Kulikov. First of all, I want to come to Dr. Kolikov question. We have main four type of forest in Afghanistan. The one is coniferous forest. It's located in the eastern provinces, especially in Nuristan, Kunar, and Paktia. These three provinces. Second type of deciduous forest. This is located in central and northern regions. If I mention the province for this one, a riparian forest along riverbank in dry woodland in arid zone of Afghanistan. We have mainly these four type of forests in Afghanistan. And for the question you have mentioned, why the government is not forcing the law. The current government, the Emirat Islami, they are forcing their law. They made police special force for protecting forest from cutting and illegal logging. They stop forest cutting. If I bring an example from the last year, first of the winter, 1 ton price of wood was like 14,000 Afghani. That's why they stop cutting the natural forest, and the price increased very quickly and highly. They are currently trying their best to plant around 16 million saplings all over the country. Mainly the focus will be on those areas that we lose our natural forest. If we come to the forests like almond and pistachios that we have naturally in Samangan province, in Tahar province, and also in Daikundi province, we have almond. They are trying their best, along with the national NGOs, to plant 2 million saplings in these two provinces. If we come to the pistachios, they are trying their best to plant pistachio in Badghis province, in Samangan province, and Baghlan provinces. Currently, they are trying their best to bring any taxation on the forest logging. Still, we don't have any mechanism. As I know and am aware from the Ministry of Agriculture, Irrigation, and Livestock, they are working to make a mechanism and a policy of bringing tax on forest logging and forest trade. It will take time, as they are new with the government, and they are changing all the laws which was enforcement previously in the Republic government. They want to change all the laws. That's why still we don't have any taxation on forest activities like logging and forest trade in Afghanistan. That's a big challenge and problem. But we are trying and working closely with the stakeholder organization to bring such law and policies to enforce such activities.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Wait a sec, we have chat. So here's a comment. First, he said, the comment is, first, we need to identify the local species of natural plants. Then, based on their adaptation, we need to plant them. By identifying local and native plant species is crucial for successful reforestation and biodiversity conservation. Native species are well adapted to the climate, soil, and ecosystem interactions of the area, making them more resilient and beneficial for local wildlife and communities. So Mr. Samidi has made this comment, which says, go plant native species, an argument that is very often made. Your comment?
I want to thank Mr. Umed Samadi for his great comments. For his information, I want to mention in 2019, the Republic government enforced a law that in every province, National Environmental Protection Agency, they allocated 5 hectares of land for making a nursery for adaptation of the plantation for every province, because of the condition. Afghanistan is very different. If we see to the eastern part, it's warm, and if we come to the central, it's cold, and if we go back to the north, it's a little warmer, and also in the eastern and southern part. That's why the government enforced a law and allocate around 5 to 10 hectares of land to the NEPA for their own nurseries to bring the adaptation of plantation in all provinces. That's why currently we are in a pilot project of implementing such activities and bringing nursery for the adaptive plantation. If I give you an example, last week we have a bidding for the liaison office. We provided saplings for Baghlan province and for Samangan province from the north part of Afghanistan, not from the central part. This is a rule of the law that we are enforcing, and we are implementing that in Afghanistan. Inshallah, very quickly we will conserve our biodiversity, and we will protect our current state of forestry in Afghanistan. And we are working closely with the government and also with a local community to make afforestation activities more, and also reforestation activities, and also protecting. Yeah.
Mujib, one of the questions is a very, very tough one. It's called, what are other solutions except community institutions and government interventions? Except community institutions and government interventions. I don't know what else there could be, but if anybody who figures that one out gets a prize.
Without government and community, I think we will not be able to preserve the biodiversity and also protect the forestry that we have. How can we protect without government, as it's enforcing the law, and by whom they will enforce the law, and how can they implement their policies and strategies? That's the government. They are working closely with the international organization. But one thing that is a big challenge and problem in Afghanistan, the current government doesn't have enough budget to implement and enforce the law actively by local communities and also by all the peoples.
I have a question that maybe that you and Maxime should look at. When you're doing reforestation, if you plant, for example, walnut trees whose harvest is commercially valuable, or fruit trees, wouldn't that help reforestation? Because you don't want to chop them down because they're productive.
Actually, that was also my question, Bogdan, because on the 2 images, I think I saw on the first image on the slide talking about the reforestation, there was coniferous forest on the top, and I thought there was walnut trees on the bottom, the one that was planted by the local communities you were referring to. Yeah, the same question. I mean, because you were talking a lot about for making forest valuable for local communities so they can use it as a livelihoods and everything. Just to top up on Bogdan's question, what are the non-timber forest products that local communities rely on right now?
As I mentioned in my previous slides and in my discussion, that currently the government and also local organization and also international organization are trying to provide people with fruitable trees like almond, pistachio, and also another kind that are adaptable to the province. As I mentioned in my discussion, that we have provided 70,000 of almond and pistachio saplings to Baghlan province, and also 30,000 to Samangan province. That was all non-timber trees and saplings.
Mujib, these are native species?
Yeah, these are native species, yeah, that we are providing. And also we are trying to change some trees by changing their pattern to, in host province, I think, olive grafting. We are trying to graft olive, and the timbers that are located in Nuristan, Kunar, Paktia, and host province. This is another way of changing and bringing to the people income. How can they make income? We want to change the type of tree by grafting to the olive. It's a very good idea, and most of the people in host province are getting income from this kind of activities.
There's another question from Mr. Samidi. Is there an available list of native species? We need to conduct a survey to identify the native species, and based on that, we can introduce adaptive species on different regions. So if you have a list, you can do something.
Yeah. We have a list of native species in Afghanistan. If he see a site of NEPA, National Environmental Protection Agency, he will find the report that which type and which species we have in Afghanistan. Still, we have listed. The work is ongoing. They're doing their research and they're dividing that like medicinal plant and another species. He can find the reports in NEPA sites. It's available free of cost. We have a list, yeah.
Very good. Well, we have to wind this down. Mujib, thank you very much for a very interesting lecture. We from ARI are extremely pleased that Mujib, who studied in Malaysia and is completing his PhD now, is at Kabul University, and he's done a fair amount of good work mobilizing young people around issues of climate change. So nice to see you. Congratulations on the work that you do. And this lecture is going to be available on the Afghanistan Research Initiative YouTube site. And we tend to get a very good viewship, or whatever you call that, post the delivery of lecture. So everyone, thank you for attending. I wish everyone a very good day. And Mujib, all the best to you. Wait a second, there's a fourth question.
Okay.
We covered the list. You have said where the list is. Okay, thank you very much and good luck with your work. Stay safe.
Thank you very much. And have a nice time. As I mentioned previously, one of my research paper will be published very soon. It's also regarding forest and forestry. Mostly the focus is on agroforestry activities. How can we make income to the people and stop illegal logging and trade of forest? Thank you very much for the time.
I encourage the participants to subscribe to our LinkedIn site, because every publication, these events, and actually events around Afghan studies and that other people do, are posted there. So it's a updated, constantly updated source of information. In any publication that we know of, and this is certainly the case of Mujib's publications, they're going to be put up there and you'll get a link from that. We also have a newsletter which comes out every couple of months. Thank you. Good luck to everyone.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.